Welcome back to Rudy's 1/6 World for another First Thoughts video, and today's breaking news comes courtesy of Damtoys, who has dropped the pre-order for the next figure in their rapidly growing Resident Evil 2 line, and today's release is Ada Wong, the spy-like character that was trying to get a sample of the virus in the original version of Resident Evil 2. Now, I always do share with you my familiarity with the games or the property that the figures are based on, and I'm going to be aging myself here a little bit, but I played Resident Evil 2 when Capcom had that really amazing remake for the Nintendo GameCube. So Ada's appearance in that game was very different from what we're seeing here. Clearly this figure is based on the remake, which I think was released around 2019. And just like with Claire and Leon, they did upgrade Ada's look to make it a little bit more realistic as opposed to the longer dress she had in the original game. And also included is the alternate look from the remake with the trench coat and the glasses. So let's talk Damtoys first really quickly. Damtoys has been in the game for a while, and I do think they're a little underrated, or maybe that's the wrong word, but they kind of fly under the radar. Everyone is always talking about Hot Toys and now in art, but I feel like you rarely hear about Damtoys, and maybe that's partly related to what they focus on, which is military figures. They do have their Gangster's Kingdom line, which I love, but I do realize it has a much more limited appeal to us collectors, and they do have other licenses they pursue, but I do think so far the Resident Evil one is probably one of their most prominent ones. And I will tell you this, Damtoys does put out really great quality product, and if they wanted to, I think they could really compete with the big players in the game. I mean, the cost of the figures is definitely rivaling Hot Toys at this point, but I will say you do get a lot, and I do think if that the Hot Toys is the metric we're using, then these are totally worth it. So I did see Ada up already, and she's coming in between $250 and $290, again depending very much on which site you're going to and whether or not shipping is included. So I do think it's a little steep given that you don't get many accessories here. She is coming at about the same price point as Leon and Claire, and by comparison those figures came loaded with accessories and a ton of weapons. So again, just feels like she should have come in a little cheaper, but it's again just something for you to consider if you are interested in picking her up. As far as the figure is concerned, just like the other figures, and in particular the Claire Redfield, sculpt looks incredible with great paint applications and nice detailing around the hair, and I do like the sculpted hair as I think it looks really good on this one. Tailoring on the dress and trench coat are also great, and I think they're really spot on replicas of the clothing seen in the remakes. I also do think this figure benefits from the seamless arms since they are so exposed. Again, only concern with seamless is posability, and I did notice that the promo shots show her in a fairly straightforward standing pose. Not very dynamic, although there is a shot of her holding her sidearm in front of her with both hands. So that could be a good sign of some decent range of posing here. And that's something I've always loved with Damtoys figures. The bodies they use are always highly posable and let you achieve some really natural looks, which is a complaint I have with some of the other companies. Other note here with her shoes. I'm curious about how the figure's going to balance. I think the only figure I had that came with heels was the Pepper Potts from Iron Man 3, and without the stand, she's a challenge to balance and have her stand on her own. I'm really curious if that's going to be the case here, and unfortunately Damtoys doesn't tend to supply stands with their releases, so if you do get her, I might try to get a stand just in case. So that's a quick look at the newest pre-order from Damtoys. I think it looks great, but at the cost and with the lack of accessories, I'm definitely in no rush to pick her up. For Resident Evil 2, she is very much a secondary character, so I think your reception to this figure at this price point will depend on how much of an RE2 fan you are, and how much you like this version of the character, this remake version. Now, Hot Toys did do two versions of Ada from Resident Evil 4, with the older style dress and a more fully equipped look from RE5. Having said that, those are older figures, and I do think this one looks way better. And honestly, if you do choose to get her, I imagine you'll be pretty happy with the figure once she does get released. That's about it for now. Let me know what you think of this release and if you are interested in getting her. And as always, thank you for watching, and if you are enjoying the content and these breaking news alerts, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll touch base on the next video.